And welcome back to Straight Talk. Thanks, Regan, for that information on that piece. You know, Chrissy, you haven't been here.
Yeah,
Welcome
it's been
back.
a while.
Welcome back.
Thank
we
you.
missed you.
I heard you were going to be coronated as Princess Alua Lua Luka
In Hawaii, yes, that's me. Shaka. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, we were jealous. We
Yeah.
admit it freely.
So now that you're back, we have to get in down and all the good stuff that the community is dealing with.
Right, and yeah, I think one of the things that we were discussing is the difference between, I guess, journalistic integrity, ethics, as well as like an op-ed piece or editorial opinion pieces. You know, the difference between a lot of these things and the show and
You know, from experience, just from experience in the community and media, there is a lot of times there is a not a clear understanding in the community about the difference
Clearly.
between reportage, journalism, straight journalism. This is tell the story. This is one side of the story. This is the other side of the story. We present the story. The reader decides. Okay, these are the facts as we know them.
right.
We try to verify and fact check and so on. No opinion. But then there's the other side of it, which is the editorial side. And there have been times when I did editorial cartoons, you know, that people felt they weren't balanced. Well, they don't understand what an editorial cartoon is. Or if you write an editorial, I mean, that's opinion. You have programs like Straight Talk, which are to me, I would say there is news element to it, but it is also analysis and opinion based on, okay, we're saying
It's an interpretation
Exactly.
of facts
exactly.
from
And what-
all of our views.
And by saying that, welcome. Welcome back. She sat out the first part because Regan was here talking about the education system. But you know, you're back for the remainder of the show. But recently, we had an article in the Eastern Door,
A column.
a column, excuse me,
Yeah.
a column in the Eastern Door,
Yeah, no difference.
circling around KSCS. You know what? They're in the news and.
KSS.
KSS, sorry. The survival school has been in the news in regards to the land issue and your column.
But also the expulsions and
Yeah, with the drug
suspensions of
issues and
kids,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I mean, there's been a lot of, I guess, media in regard talking about all that, and we'll talk about some of it. You know, we're not. You know, the survival school is there, and I think we support it. The community supports that school. The thing is that there's been a lot of, I guess, questions in regards to the piece that you had done last week. How's that been going for you?
Well, with school and, you know, on last episode we talked about not being stressed over Christmas shopping. Well, I'm stressed over Christmas shopping, and now with this, like I knew it was going to be controversial column and subject, but
For the people that haven't read the article, could you just give us an overview of what you wrote?
well, the previous week there was I think 3 news stories in the Eastern Door and on GanawageNews.com about the school, and I just, after reading those, I felt kind of like, I don't know, like I was kind of upset and disappointed with some of the stuff it mentioned about the school. So I wrote about it based on what those articles said about the school, and it brought up a lot of controversy about people thinking, I think all their students are like drug addicts and like don't go to CEGEP or are dumb, and like that's not the purpose of it at all.
What were some of the main areas in the article that that people had some, I guess, disagreements about? Because basically that's what it was. They didn't agree with, I guess, your position.
That's actually a good question because I don't really know. That's something people haven't really been, they never personally have told to me what is wrong, like what they are mad about it. It's just that I mentioned their school in a negative way.
Yeah, you know, I think that when you look at anything that's going on, and you know, the thing is, a lot of people are talking specifically about the survival school and about some of the issues in regards to drugs and some of the issues in regards to, I guess, the curriculum and things like that. But that's been going on for years in this community. People have always had discussions in regards to it, and however, you know, some people support it, some people don't support the position, and not specifically the school itself. And I think that's where you had a position based on those
I think a
articles.
lot of it can come down to, like, don't shoot the messenger. I mean, we're just discussing these things, you know. It's not, you know, that the school is a community school, and the community is concerned, and then,
Yeah.
and all these things have been popping up. So yeah, people are talking about it. So if, you know, if we come forward and say, like, well, these are some of the questions that people are asking us, I don't know the answers.
Yeah.
You know,
I
but
could-
this is just my opinion.
Some of the issues that you were talking about, and I didn't really fully read the article. I know that Lynn read it with some interest, actually. But they weren't strictly talking about the issues, say, with expulsions. It was fairly, my understanding was the article was coming at it from different angles about things within the school. Now, you mentioned a minute ago that you were saying things negative about the survival school. Now, I just want to be clear, were you saying negative things about the school, or did people interpret what you wrote as being negative about the school that they got defensive about?
I think both. I mean, I know, just in general, I know I write in a negative way, and that's just, you know, a habit of mine. But, like, what I was trying to, I guess, interpret from, like, those news articles, what I thought was negative about it, and then trying to discuss it, like,
Some
Yeah.
people, you
if
know,
that makes sense.
some people felt that you were making a comparison between the school that you had gone to, because you had gone to a private school, and
And I'm not
and survival
denying that I
school.
did, and it's just, that's, I guess,
But that's
my
our
view.
experience.
Yeah, like I can't, you know, I think as human beings we always compare things no matter what, and I didn't go to another school, so that's, you know, like my experience, like comparing it to what I know.
Okay. Well, I know everything. Like I said, it's your experience, and I think for more than anything, that it comes down to an issue of being able to have an opinion and openly discuss these things.
Yeah.
This is my background. This is my perspective. You know, and if we don't share it with one another, then, you know, I mean, this is one of the places where you can do it. Or when you're doing an op-ed piece or a column, which is an editorial column. It's not news, you know. It's not. You're not coming right out and saying, oh, I'm you know, this is, you know, I'm an expert on the situation, or I'm an expert on the subject, and this is the way it's going to be, kind of thing. No, you're not saying this is my opinion.
Like you said before, that like the school is it's a community school, and as a community member, I feel like I have the right to have an opinion about
Exactly.
it. And no one has to agree with it, but it's my opinion, and it's fine if you don't like agree with it.
You know, it's just that, you know, I think that a lot of time and effort and over the years, it's about 32 years now the school's been there, and a lot of people have a lot of investment into it, and I think anytime that there's any negativity surrounding something, and looking at it from the other side, saying that, you know, we put a lot of time and effort into it, and it sort of downplayed a little bit of some of the things as far as the amount of students that we're having, you know, an 80 plus average opposed to not, and, you know, and it was a good thing, it wasn't a bad thing, and, you know, there was all little bit, like I'm sure that people picked in pieces of it and done that. On this show, we do that all the time. We look at things with my experience, with your experience, with the two of your experiences, and sometimes we don't have all those facts, but we're not looking at stats. We're not doing news. We're not balancing everything off. We're saying that this is what I feel,
And this is what I see.
think, and what I think this should be. You know, and we do that all the time, and we get questioned, And I always say to to the people watching, prove me wrong.
Well,
You
this
know,
is-
I want you to prove me
Yeah.
wrong.
Or ask, answer
Or
my
ask-
questions.
answer my
Answer my
questions, yeah.
questions.
But, you know, like, on the issue of KSCS and the things that have been in the
KSS.
media, I'm saying, yes. How does that come out so just automatically? Forgive-
We're
forgive us.
we're not land of an acronym,
No,
so
yeah,
never
yeah,
mind,
we're in
We're
acronym
talking about
overload.
survival school.
Yeah.
Too many
so-
Ks and too many S's.
Yes, exactly.
KSS. Now,
Survival
the survival school, there's been in the news over it, and the big thing is the policy with regard to drugs has brought it into the news.
And you know
so-
what? Let's talk about that
Wait,
because we'll
it's
go a
not-
little.
we don't have this, all the same issue
Yeah.
on a given
It
topic.
is, and I'd like to, and I'd like to talk a little bit about that because that's also part of what's going on now is the drug issue and not singling out anybody, but the global part of it and what's going on, what's not going on, and why are we focusing on survival school and not the whole community? But we'll do that right after these messages.